This year, many of us are keenly following the Miss Universe Nigeria pageant due to former Miss South Africa top 10 finalist Chidimma Adetshina's participation. But despite having never won a Miss Universe crown, Nigeria's history at Miss Universe is still full of intriguing and tumultuous stories. The first Nigerian woman to go to Miss Universe was the crowned Miss Nigeria 1964 19-year-old salesgirl Edna Park. And Edna was one of only 3 African representatives at Miss Universe in 1964, alongside South Africa's Gail Robinson as well as Tunisia's Claudine Younes. And I have plenty of videos covering South Africa's crazy history at Miss Universe and other international pageants, so feel free to go watch those. And although there were 2 other African countries competing at Miss Universe that year, Edna was actually the only black woman from Africa to compete at Miss Universe in 1964. And at first there was nothing particularly notable about Edna's performance or anything, but she did gain worldwide notoriety until this day because of her reaction to not making it into the top 15 at Miss Universe. Shortly after the Miss Universe 1964 top 15 was announced, Edna collapsed backstage and was in terrible shock, having arrived at Miss Universe equipped to take the crown home for her country. Edna actually spent that night in hospital under sedation to help her calm down, and the Miss Nigeria pageant, which was operated by the Daily Mail, actually never sent a woman to Miss Universe since then. And 20 years after Edna's ordeal at Miss Universe, Guy Ben Murray Bruce began publicizing the new Miss Universe Nigeria pageant. Murray Bruce was the president of Silverbird then, which is also the parent company of the modern day Miss Universe Nigeria competition. And Miss Universe Nigeria 1984 was crowned in 1983 actually. Omololo Ojehomon was ultimately the winner, but there was loads of controversy surrounding the Miss Universe Nigeria 1984 pageant. Supermodel Yemi Fawaz later stated in an interview that there were 2 second place winners, so 2 first runner-ups for some reason, and Yemi herself came 3rd apparently. She also talks about how the Silverbird group never even mentions the 1984 class when they talk about their history. And the reason for that is probably because Miss Universe Nigeria 1984 is widely considered to be a huge flop. Not because of any antics at Miss Universe a la Edna Park, but rather because the crowned Miss Universe Nigeria 1984 never even went to Miss Universe at all. And let me just tell you guys, I had to go to a literal UC Berkeley thesis on Nigerian beauty pageants in order to sort of find out why Miss Universe Nigeria 1984 never actually attended Miss Universe. Omololo Ojehomon was allegedly dethroned as Miss Universe Nigeria because she was quote-unquote too demanding. And the Silverbird group just decided to cut their losses and not send anyone, despite having perfectly good runner-ups, one of which who ended up being a supermodel. But during her reign, Miss Universe Nigeria Omololo did represent her country as Nigeria's mascot at the 1984 Olympic Games, so at least there's that. And I definitely think that the president of the Silverbird group and the organizer for Miss Universe Nigeria wanted the public to forget all about everything that had happened, or rather did not happen, with Miss Universe Nigeria. And so 2 years later, in 1984, the Most Beautiful Girl in Nigeria pageant was established, or MBGN for short. This is an iconic pageant in Nigeria. The very first MBGN winner was 20-year-old Linda Chuba, and she was the first Nigerian woman to return to the Miss Universe stage since Edna Park in 1964. And although Linda went unplaced at Miss Universe when she competed in 1987, she did manage to win Miss Africa 1987 later that year. In 1987, Omasan Tokunbo Bua was crowned Most Beautiful Girl in Nigeria, but unfortunately also went unplaced at Miss Universe 1988. Bianca Ono, who was MBGN 1988, is one of Nigeria's more controversial queens, although she also did not place at Miss Universe 1989 where she competed. She did win the continental title of Miss Africa 1988 and also went on to win the minor international title of Miss Intercontinental 1989 at the age of 21. However, whilst she was still reigning, she started drawing a lot of public scrutiny for her romantic relationship with a political associate of her father who was roughly 34 years older than her. Probably due to all of this public scrutiny, Bianca resigned from her titles and placed her sole focus on completing her education in law. And after completing her education, Bianca actually ended up marrying the same man whom she had received so much criticism for dating during her reign. And they were married from 1994 until his death in 2011. I must also add that Regina Osoro took over from Bianca as MBGA in 1988, and Brenda Marte from the Dominican Republic took over as Miss Intercontinental 1989. And nothing particularly happened with Nigeria at Miss Universe from 1990 to 1994. None of the crowned MBGA winners nor the appointed Miss Universe representatives, none of them placed at Miss Universe at all, unfortunately. In 1995, Miss Universe would be held in an African country for the first and so far only time ever. It was not Nigeria or South Africa that hosted Miss Universe, however, but my home country of Namibia, who had previously won the Miss Universe title in 1992. And 22-year-old Toyin Raji was Nigeria's representative at that year's edition of Miss Universe. And although she didn't place, she was very popular amongst her fellow contestants and managed to win the title of Miss Congeniality for the first time for Nigeria at Miss Universe. In 1996, the crowned MBGN Emma Komlosi competed at Miss World only, and in 1997 there was no MBGN competition held, presumably due to political unrest in the country at that time. In 1998, Nigeria was back on the Miss Universe stage, however, with 21-year-old Chika Chikezi. She unfortunately went unplaced at both Miss Universe and Miss World. In fact, both MBGN 1999 and MBGN 2000 went unplaced and undecorated at both Miss Universe and Miss World respectively. But as we all know, in 2001, Nigeria crowned one of their most iconic and most decorated queens ever. 18-year-old Agbani Darego had everything the major international pageants were looking for, and although Agbani is most known for winning Miss World 2001, Nigeria's first and so far only major international title, it is easy to forget about the fact that Agbani also competed at Miss Universe, and she actually got a top 10 placement prior to winning Miss World. This has been Nigeria's highest placement at Miss Universe to date. The good times unfortunately did not last for Nigeria, as from 2002 to 2004 Nigeria failed to place at both Miss Universe and Miss World. From 2005 to 2011, MBGN stopped sending their crowned winner to both Miss Universe and Miss World and started sending the crowned MBGN to Miss World only and the runner-up to Miss Universe, all the while still going unplaced at both. However, in 2012, the crowned MBGN could not represent her country at Miss World as had been the custom for some years at this point. Shortly after alleged 26-year-old Isabella Ayuk was crowned, rumors started flying that she had lied about her age. Miss World's age requirements are between the ages of 17 and 27, and Isabella was allegedly 30 at the time. Many assumed that these rumors had merit due to the fact that the Silverbird group announced that Isabella would go to Miss Universe instead of Miss World, and that MBGN 2012 first runner-up Damiete Granville would be representing Nigeria at Miss World. The allegation against Isabella was that she was actually 30 years old and that she had falsified documents in order to shave about half a decade off of her age so that she may compete at MBGN in 2012. The largest accusation against Isabella seems to be that she was in her second year already at the University of Calabar in 2002. Isabella would have been only 15 or 16 in 2002, according to the age she claimed to be in 2012. However, from everything that I was able to find, it all suggests that Isabella actually graduated from the University of Calabar in 2011 with a business administration degree, and there was nothing to suggest that she was at the University of Calabar in 2002. Rumors also suggested that the Miss World organization rejected Isabella due to a tip-off about her age, but Isabella stated in a later interview that it was her own choice to go to Miss Universe instead of Miss World. Miss Universe's age requirements were also pretty strict, stating that a woman must have been between the ages of 18 and 28. Isabella competed at Miss Universe on the 19th of December 2012, but unfortunately she ended up going unplaced anyway. However, the MBGN first runner-up, who went to Miss World, Damiette Granville, managed a top 30 placement at least. This was the final instance of the reigning MBGN representing Nigeria at Miss Universe, and from 2013 to 2022, all of Nigeria's representatives at Miss Universe were first runner-ups at MBGN, or in a rare 2016 case, a former MBGN winner appointed for the task. These years did not go without any reward, however, as Queen Osem Celestine was awarded Nigeria's second Miss Congeniality title at Miss Universe 2014. Olutosin Araromi managed a top 20 placement at Miss Universe 2019. And Maristella Okpala was awarded the Best National Costume Award at Miss Universe 2021. But besides these, all other representatives during this time period went unplaced and unawarded. And for obvious reason also, there was no Miss Universe Nigeria present at Miss Universe in 2020. As we all know, Miss Universe was taken over by JKN Group a couple of years back, and the new owner of Miss Universe has stated that she does have some preferences when it comes to how Miss Universe is displayed by national organizations. She in fact has a very strong preference that no other international pageants should be emphasized by national organizations that holds the license to Miss Universe. In other words, MBGN's habits of sending their crowned winners to Miss World instead of Miss Universe was definitely not going to go down well with the new owner of Miss Universe. And so, in 2023, Guy Ben Bruce Murray re-established the Miss Universe Nigeria pageant, which is now also completely separate from MBGN, or Most Beautiful Girl in Nigeria, in any way, shape or form. The very first woman to be crowned Miss Universe Nigeria in this modern age was Ugochi Mitchel Ihezue, and she was actually also MBGN 2017 and represented Nigeria at Miss World 2017, where she placed in the top 15 and won the top model competition. And ostensibly, it is possible for former MBGN winners to cross over to Miss Universe Nigeria now if they haven't represented Nigeria at Miss Universe before, which is why we're actually seeing the iconic Nkachi Douglas at this year's Miss Universe Nigeria competition. If you remember, she was in the top 5 at Miss World 2019, and so I'm very optimistic to see which former MBGN girlies we will be seeing at Miss Universe Nigeria, especially since Miss Universe Nigeria has adopted the same rule changes as Miss Universe has, and they have no age limit, you can be married, you can have a child, etc, etc. But unfortunately for Ugochi Mitchel Ihezue, she did not manage to place at Miss Universe 2023 despite her relative success at Miss World in 2017. And only time will tell how this new iteration of the Miss Universe Nigeria pageant will fare at Miss Universe. I must also mention that the runner-up of Miss Universe Nigeria actually goes to Miss Supranational, so that's also a good incentive for women to compete. You know, there's more than one winner, although all of the emphasis is placed on Miss Universe. Let me know what you guys think of Nigeria's history at Miss Universe. It's not as decorated as I would like it to be. I can't believe we've never had a Nigerian Miss Universe. It's high time. I think it's high time for Nigeria to start becoming more decorated at Miss Universe when it comes to placements and things like that. But at least they have those 2 Miss Congeniality titles to brag about. Seems like Nigerian women are very likable overall. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe and I will see you in the next one. Bye!